So recently, I had the opportunity to be in a room of some key decision makers for things that are happening here in the Phoenix metro area. And it was really interesting, somewhat being a fly on the wall and hearing about what's proposed, what's happening, and what it's taken to get to where we are and what it's going to take to get us further. So, what does 5 to 10 years look like for us based on what's being contracted from a standpoint of industrial and manufacturing compared to where we've been and how that differs? Of course, I'm always thinking about how does this tie into real estate, selfishly, of course. I think it ties into so many different pieces there. Back in the bust when we had the Great Recession in 2008, 2009, housing was one of the key industries here in the Phoenix area. Now we still had, some defense contractors. We still had semiconductor, microelectronics companies that were here as well. However, housing was such a big component to the Phoenix area economy that it really, once real estate went down, the economy here really went with it, right? And Phoenix still has a very robust and strong real estate economy. However, with where things are moving, there's a lot of potential and opportunity as other industry is moving here at a very, very rapid pace. So a couple of takeaways I wanted to share from this meeting that I was in. And again, this is me just being able to hear what's happening in the market. And we talk about like Taiwan Semiconductor and how they got two fabs that are producing or will produce semiconductors. And the semiconductors that they're producing are not I'd say the most cutting edge of semiconductors. Those are starting now with their third fab. This is the third fab of 6 that they have proposed for Phoenix. And when you talk to people who are up in the North Phoenix area, they see it just continuing to sprawl and seeing how this area is just continuing to be occupied by, Taiwan Semiconductor. And the area around it and ultimately will be engulfed by homes and commercial and schools and all of the infrastructure needed to keep that going. But one of the things that's leading to is because now we are really at the forefront. This new 2 nanometer semiconductor that they're going to be producing at Fab 3 is as cutting edge as you can get. Arizona will be producing it, and Taiwan will be producing it. And it puts us, these are the chips that they're putting in, different defense vehicles, the supersonic jets, and all of this crazy advanced stuff that need these super small advanced chips, which is amazing. Again, leading to the future of Phoenix and what that looks like long term, and looking positive. Another takeaway that I had from that, and what that leads to for me is just all the other companies that are coming here because they want to be a part of, or they want to be close to, the source of these semiconductors, right? Also, Phoenix is legit becoming this global hub overnight. There are conversations with different airlines to see how we're going to be able to have more direct flights to Asia, which is very interesting. Something where right now we've got to stop off in LA or San Francisco, but if we had direct flights, that might change the landscape a little bit. So those conversations are being had too, which is pretty interesting. As we're going to see things progressing, we're going to need more power. And those are conversations that were, so far above my head. I had to do some research when I got back. If you're interested in hearing more about that, hit me up. We really didn't have much about conversations about water. There are some struggles with the states competing and arguing over water from the Colorado, including Colorado, who feels that the water's theirs. And projections are that this is something that the states aren't going to be able to solve on their own. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the federal government doesn't have to step into that as well and figure all of that out for us. But again, I think ultimately what all of this comes back to is my big takeaway from all of the conversation is, hey, we're seeing a little bit of a shakeup in the market right now, and pricing has to come down if rates don't come down, right? Like there's too much inventory. If we don't see a recession, recessions spur interest rates going down to stimulate the economy. If we don't see a recession and we continue seeing these indicators that are pushing more towards an inflationary situation, then we're still going to see interest rates being held where they are. And that isn't helping us on the housing front. So I hate saying we're cheering for a recession, but ultimately at the end of the day, if we need all these economic indicators pointing more towards a recession to get them to lower the rates, that will increase what's happening on the housing front and continue to make that happen. If that doesn't happen, then I would be ready as a buyer, be in a position to be finding deals, and because once that does happen, that's probably going to be the indicator that pushes prices back up again. For what it's worth, again, long-term projections for Phoenix are absolutely outstanding. Although I think we've got probably 2 years to get through this rental inventory, as well as to get us figured out as to what's happening with recession versus not recession, and where do we go from there. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm not smart enough to basically say these things outside of what I hear, but it definitely has helped me in feeling like it's making us some good decisions and being where we need to be to position ourselves as a company and as a team. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much.